Why are the media attacking this movie? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a movie called The Sound of Freedom featuring Jim Caviezel. Now, the movie is based on the true story of a former Homeland Security agent here in the U.S. who organized this thing to help end child trafficking in Colombia. Now, ever since it was released on July 4th, Independence Day of this year, 2023, it's been getting positive reviews, rave reviews. I've not seen the full movie. I have seen some of it, and from what I saw, it is very, very heavy, and that is a general consensus. It's not some kind of happy-go-lucky, feel-good movie. It is very heavy, it is very serious, and very emotional. Now, there are some people and media organizations, outlets, and whatnot who do not have positive reviews of the movie. They have very negative reviews, and they want to try to frame it as some kind of conspiracy theory type situation. All right. Now, there was another movie kind of based on child trafficking that didn't really seek to end it. It was kind of just exploiting it, in my humble opinion. And that movie was given rave reviews by the same people who are now denigrating and attacking The Sound of Freedom. I'll get to that particular movie in a minute. But first things first, let's take a look at the cover here. So that's a poster for The Sound of Freedom, right? They're trying to end child trafficking in Colombia. Like I said, based on a true story, released July 4th, 2023 on Independence Day. All right. Now, take a look at this headline from Rolling Stone about the movie. Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. The subhead says the QAnon tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy adult boomer. All right, that's what they want to say. It's all about conspiracy theories, not really a real thing. Okay, now you see the top right here. Based on the true story, I heard from somewhere across the theater. The familiar words had appeared on the screen, and an elderly man had taken it upon himself to read them aloud to the rest of a sizable audience seated for a matinee showing of the anti-child trafficking thriller Sound of Freedom. Now, why is anti-child trafficking a thing that is designed for the conspiracy adult boomer? And again, as they said, it's based on the true story. It's right there on the thing. You can go investigate the story for yourself. It's not just a talking point. It is a real thing. Let's continue. Let me have another little review to get to, but I won't read the entirety of any of them. If you want to read these quote unquote reviews or hit pieces or whatever, I will link to them in the description box. But anyway, for the seasoned moviegoer, this phrase is a joke. We know that cinema will stretch almost any quote unquote truth to the breaking point, and rank insincerity of such a pronouncement is a foundation of the prankish opening titles of Fargo. But this crowd, I could tell, would view the events depicted over the next 2+ hours as entirely literal. Okay, so basically they're trying to say, you know what, yeah, it was based on the true story, but they're going to have creative license and twist it into something that's not real. But people in the theater will think that everything they see on the screen is true, and there's no Hollywood license or anything like that. Okay, that is a general thing here, right? Now, we're going to read this next piece and then get to the next quote-unquote review. Let's continue. Caviezel, best known for being tortured to death in Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ, where he played Jesus, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And you see kind of what we're dealing with, right? Why they don't just say that he played Jesus? But anyway, has become a prominent figure on the conspiracy right, giving speeches and interviews in which he hints at an underground holy war between patriots and a sinister legion of evildoers who are harvesting the blood of children. It's straight up QAnon stuff, right down to his use of catchphrases like, the storm is upon us. Here, he gets to act out some of that drama by playing a fictionalized version of Tim Ballard, head of the anti-sex trafficking nonprofit Operation Underground Railroad, OUR, and a feature film that casts Operator as a Batman-style savior for kids sold into the sex trade. So they're trying to say, because Jim Caviezel in real life, they're trying to link him to quote-unquote QAnon, whatever that is. And by the way, I hear more about QAnon from the left than I ever hear about in my regular everyday life from people that I know that are conservative, but I digress. So they're trying to say that since the actor in real life is linked to QAnon, from their humble opinion, then his role is an extension of his regular life, which is crazy because I was always told that when you are playing a role, you're playing a role. That's not you in real life. That's a character you're playing. Okay. And in this case, it is a character based on a real person. So even if you don't believe the movie itself, I mean, the general plot of the movie is real, and child trafficking is a thing in Colombia. Okay, it is really a thing. Now, let's get to the next one here. So another one, The Guardian, another thing, Sound of Freedom, the QAnon adjacent thriller seducing America. That's kind of a bad choice of words. But anyway, Jim Caviezel stars as a hero trying to stop child traffickers in a paranoid new movie turning into a surprise box office hit. All right, let's continue here. And why is it a surprise hit? You have a pretty big star in it, and you have a lot of money and marketing put behind it. Why is it a surprise? I don't know. But anyway, type the words Sound of Freedom into Twitter. Decent people who wish to live good, happy lives should under no circumstances actually do this. And a search will yield dozens of triumphant reports crowing about the improbable victory of a film by that title over the likes of Indiana Jones at the box office this week. Why would that be a bad thing for anybody to search that particular movie? Okay, let's continue. That's not strictly speaking accurate. Indiana Jones, blah, 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 blah. But for a fleeting moment, this past 4th of July, while the intended audience of Indy's latest outing was presumably spending with time with their families, okay, you're just trying to pump that up. Did you get paid to do that? An unoccupied fandom rallied by the star Jim Caviezel claimed the day with 14.2 gross versus Dial of Destiny's 11.7. No matter what, these figures require selective, almost willful, misleading framing to allow for David and Goliath narrative. Basically, they're trying to say, yeah, this is just nothing but a hit piece. They're trying to say, well, it came out on Independence Day, July 4th, which is, it's a Tuesday, and that's not normally when movies come out. So they're just trying to cherry pick all this and that and the third. That's what they're trying to say. Oh, it wasn't really that good. It kind of sucked. It kind of bombed. It came out on a random day, blah, 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 blah. Now, remember the movie right here? Remember this movie, Cuties, from probably about a few years ago? I'm not sure when this came out. Now, Cuties, this trailer was something that really was a problem on Netflix. These girls right here were twerking. These are little kids, okay? These are not adults at all. They were twerking, doing very inappropriate things. And it was getting rave reviews. The Guardian, who you just saw right here, right? The Guardian says, Sound of Freedom, the QAnon adjacent thriller seducing America. They're trying to talk about how it came out on Independence Day and it wasn't really that good and all this and that and the third, right? That's what they want to say. Paranoid new movie, all this and that. Now, here's the same website talking about Cuties. This movie right here with the twerking little girls and whatnot that was exploiting these little girls, the French movie, they say in the review, Netflix's controversial child exploitation film is bold, flawed, and misunderstood. And then the subhead, despite the increasingly toxic debate, I can't pronounce this person's name, her film and its accusers are on the same side, attacking pornification and the false promise of liberation by sexualized display. So they're trying to say this movie does good at exposing how children get trafficked and exploited and whatnot, but the other one doesn't do it. Why? What is the difference? Let's continue to see what they say here. Should this film be canceled? Or, to raise a secondary point, should one see this film before taking a view on such things? It's still surprising to me, even having lived through so many controversies like this, how many people can't quite bring themselves to answer yes to the second question. Or they say that watching the film simply plays into the filth merchant's hands. A sorrowing paradox I remember first encountering during the National Theater run of Romans in Britain. Now, okay, didn't they just say in the other one, watch this, maybe I'm just forgetting right here, right? Type the word Sound of Freedom into Twitter. Decent people who wish to live good, happy lives should under no circumstances actually do this. What they said about the Sound of Freedom. Don't even look at this. Don't even look into it, right? But then when it comes to Cuties, a movie that, in my humble opinion, exploited children and there was no redeeming quality to it, right? What did they say? Hey, man, you can't just judge it. You got to watch it first, right? You got to watch it because it might not be what you think. But for the other one, don't even do it, man. If you love living your life right and you love peace, don't even search for this. Very interesting. Okay. I'm going to read some of this, then I'll wrap it up, put a bow on top. So, McNuns or Cuties, an interesting flawed debut feature film on Netflix from Franco Singolese director, I can't pronounce her name, finds itself at the center of the nastiest obscenity row since David Cronenberg's Crash in 1996. This is because the sequence is showing a group of naive, excitable 11-year-old girls in a dance group twerking and potting their way through a grotesquely sexualized adult routine. There has been an ugly and abusive social media storm dominated by vicious trolls who haven't seen the film and by mischief makers jumping at the chance to embarrass those with Netflix connects, such as the Obamas. So, okay, we see the trailer of these girls twerking and whatnot, and there's no explanation. It's just them, being exploited. You can't really explain it away anyway, but they're just being exploited, and that's totally okay because we got to just have an open mind and not attack them and all this and that and the third. So you say that about Cuties, but then when it comes to the Sound of Freedom, now we got a problem. You know what? I got one thing to say here as I put the bow on the top. I think Cuties is okay to them because it glorifies child exploitation. So it's okay to them. But the Sound of Freedom is not okay because it does not glorify child exploitation. It shows a true story of a man organizing this thing to end child exploitation. That's the difference. So if you had to pick a side, whose side would you be on? It's not hard to tell, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Have you seen The Sound of Freedom? Do you plan on seeing it? You saw it in the theater, wherever you saw it. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. How about Cuties? Have you heard about that? Did you see the trailer? I didn't watch the full movie. I don't want to watch anything like that. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I'm not interested. Okay? I'm just not. But whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think we can see whose side the media are on. And I know whose side I want to be on. I want to be on the side of ending child exploitation and child trafficking, not enabling it or trying to profit from it. I think those who enable such things, it is only one place to go. I don't want to get too graphic, but you already know where I say they should go, okay? Without getting graphic or threatening on here, you already know what it is. I think every decent human being should be on the side of ending child trafficking and not enabling it or trying to profit from it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.